Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. Anybody from the IT industry here? Okay, good. I see a few hands raised. Okay. This is a bit of a misfit actually, though I know Ravi did mention that. I'm not from manufacturing industry. All my career has been in the IT industry. I don't really have a presentation. I'll share my experience and what has been the changes that I have seen in the IT industry. Most of you have witnessed this, right? All of us have been in the core uh, core of the IT industry, being in Bangalore, right? All of us have witnessed it for the 30, 40 years. So let me just give you a quick introduction to my what I have done in my life so far. Uh, I joined Wipro. I started in finance. Then I moved into something what we called as business finance, working with a business unit, right, as a business head, a business finance head. Then I was a Six Sigma black belt. Then I moved into process transformation. Later on, I incubated a small business line and became the P&L head. Post which I moved back into finance, led a finance transformation program, order to cash and record to report. Post which I moved into another company with starting in CEO's office at Tech Mahindra, head of strategic planning and performance management. I was part of CFO's team. Then I moved into M&A team where you may have seen that Tech Mahindra acquired over 15 companies in a very short span of time. I was involved in all the deals, integrating them, post-merger integration, systems integration, process integration, management integration, so on and so forth. Last 3-4 years, I've been part of the CEO's team, leading some strategic initiatives. Right now, I head strategy and operations for America's communications business. That's a quick introduction to what I've done. So from when I started to where we are today, I think all of us have seen a pretty big change. From hiring, even not so long back, right? So we were looking at, let's say, if you took the top 3-4 companies, TCS, Infosys, and Wipro. TCS was hiring like 50,000-60,000. Infosys was also of similar range. Wipro, 10 to 15,000 people, fresh from the college. We used to run literally a factory of training and deploying people. That business model is no longer valid anymore. And if you look at the quarter-on-quarter report of any of the IT companies, there's a very marginal increase, or in fact, there is a decline of headcount. Thus, headcount is no longer a barometer of progress for the IT industry. Technological shift, all of us are aware of what's happening, specifically about new technology and AI that's come and disrupted our industry significantly. I just wanted to share one key data point, right? If you look at last quarter's profits, reported profits of Google and Amazon, bumper results, never in the past. And 50% of these profits are not operational. Where did it come from? They had invested in Anthropic. Anthropic value skyrocketed. Their shareholding, obviously, you had to do a mark to market, and that is how the value of the profitability of Google and Amazon is dependent on one investment that they've made, which is Anthropic, right? The kind of value generation, the kind of disruption that has happened because of these companies, where you take Anthropic or OpenAI or any of the new age companies that are coming up, right, was unthinkable. If you take Infosys, for example, how many of you are aware that they had invested in OpenAI, and they actually pulled out, and that was one of probably the biggest decision that they regret, right? None of us were aware, and the kind of development that is happening is just, it's very, very difficult to comprehend. If you look at the kind of development that is happening, specifically for the IT industry, AI is creating AI. So one of the products that can code much superior, I'm talking about, this is about a few weeks old, Claude Cowork, was developed in a matter of 1 week by AI itself. So AI is creating AI and AI is creating AI. So it is like, you may have heard of this expression called trying to drink from a hose. This is not even a hose, this is trying to drink from a waterfalls. That's the kind of complexity, that's the kind of speed with which change is happening. Okay, now coming back to role of a management accountant, what is it that we as a team, as a professional team, what we can do, right? So my belief is that continuous adoption, continuous adaptation are extremely critical for any profession, and we are no exception. So we cannot really flaunt our financial credentials in terms of a professional qualification and jump into industry. The business is a very, very different, it's a much larger university. So you will have to learn multiple skills. So you could start with, I'm sharing my experience, started in finance, right? From finance to business finance. So there you are there as an advisor to business. So you need to understand the business, the nuances of it. Again, multiple complex fields there, right? Different technologies. If you talk about a domain, whether it is a BFSI or HLS or a retail or a manufacturing, that goes as a vertical. And then you have horizontals, which are technical skills, specializations, right? And the business happens at the cusp of these two. So you do need to understand the business, you do need to understand a bit of vertical, you need not be an expert, but you do need. So that if you remember that T model of capability, okay, you can have multiple definitions of it, deep expertise in one, a good expertise across the track, right? That is, you can have a different view, but my strong belief is that if you want to be successful, you do need to be jack of many trades. And you do need to be a master of few, not necessarily one. So coming back from my experience of finance, I moved into a P&L role, right? I incubated a small business. I started from zero, and when I left, it was a 40% margin business with about 150 to 200 people. It was a short span, and I loved the experience of creating something from the scratch. And that required me to write proposals, travel across the globe, meet clients, sell different services. And I was invited as a speaker on a space that I was not really an expert at, but my role required, and I had to adapt, learn technology, learn process, learn consulting, etc. So that's something that helped me in my career, where I picked up quite a few skills on the journey, right? And something that I enjoyed most in my career, apart from this business stint, was the M&A part of it. In M&A, again, it is a skill that will test a lot of your skills. Your financial skills, your analytical skills, your people skills, your technical skills from let's say when you have to integrate, right? There are quite a few challenges when you buy a company. It's like getting married, right? You acquired a company, and the honeymoon period is over within a matter of about a few weeks. You will have to get there are quite a few challenges that are come across, and you will be tested in terms of when you're integrating them, and you have to deliver value out of your acquisition, right? So there is a lot of learning, and I'm very glad that I had that experience. So the key message that I said I'm here to share with you is: one, continuous learning, adoption, and being very, very close to business. Working with the business is extremely critical. The value that you bring, the advice that you have to carry, your advice has to carry certain weight, and if that has to happen, you need to learn, and you need to be completely on top of your game. And it is not just about finance, it needs to be a lot more multi-skilled. That said, I want to take a pause here, make it more interactive, open to your questions at a later stage. Thank you very much.